Welcome back to the Piping Pastor. I would like to begin by saying welcome to a few new subscribers that I've had. So thank you very much for subscribing. I think the release of Cornell and Deal's The Beast, the re-release of it, has, through the algorithm, spotted a few more people onto my channel because I did the video on The Beast a few years ago. So, but for whatever reason, you found the channel. So thank you very much for subscribing. I'm always incredibly humbled when people watch my ramblings and they're like, hey, I want to see some more of that guy. So thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm enjoying some Three Nuns in my Kurt Meerschaum church warden pipe. Seemed an appropriate blend for the discussion today. Speaking of my new subscribers and those who have joined recently, I am afraid you signed on at a time right before I'm getting ready to be gone for a bit. I will be leaving this weekend. The ministry that I serve in, I periodically have to take these little trips out into the wilderness. So I'll be leaving on just such a trip here in just a couple of days. So this will be the last video for about a month. I'll be out there for about a month, and it's a challenging time. It's not an easy environment to be in. Certainly nothing anywhere approaching glamping. I'll tell you that. When I say ministry in the wilderness, I mean quite literally, in the biblical sense of the wilderness. So it's arduous. There's a lot of challenges, but some really good ministry gets done out there. It's not all fun and games. In fact, there's very little in the way of fun and games, and it's always difficult because I miss my family when I'm out there. But it's needful, and beyond that, as I said, it's a great way to really build ties and share the gospel. The majority of the people out there are not going to be people of the faith, so I'll be sharing with a great many people who are not Christians or who are of other faiths or atheists, and so I'll say it's a wonderful opportunity for ministry, but by no means an easy, fun time. So if you are the praying type, and as Ethan says, I hope you are, remember me over the next few weeks. So let's see, I'll be gone for about a month. I won't be able to take any pictures. This is not a phone-friendly environment. So, but I will share any great stories that I have when I return. But for tonight, my personal Bible study that I've been doing has been in Genesis. I started at Genesis and I'm going through the book of Genesis. And in the current section I'm in, it's getting into Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah. I know many people find it very challenging when they see aspects of God's justice being enacted, especially in the Old Testament. I know that many of us, especially in the evangelical community, we like to focus on God's love and the work of Christ and so on and so forth. But you can't have a loving, pure God without justice. And sometimes when we lean on the seeker-friendly model of church building, we can kind of push the justice aspect aside because it's unpalatable. It doesn't fill seats. I've never been a seeker-friendly pastor. Whenever I would sit in church board meetings and I'd hear an elder or a deacon say something like, we need to be more seeker-friendly, I would cringe. I'm not about trying new things, contemporary worship, summer movie series, things like that have become very popular in the last 10 years or so. But when it comes to not preaching the whole Bible, not preaching all of God's revelation, because it may be offensive to some, that's where I draw the line. We can't run from that. We shouldn't run from that. It's all part and parcel of the same thing. And so as I was reading that, and I was thinking about, the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and what happened with Lot's wife and so on and so forth. There were multiple opportunities that Lot had leading up to that to keep himself out of that kind of environment. And Lot being in that kind of environment, he was a leader in the city. He could have had a greater influence on those around him, but there was certainly the opportunity for them to turn away from the godless ways that they were following. And obviously they did not. They were given time, and they were given time, and they were given time. But justice delayed is justice denied. And God is a just God. So I was thinking about that when I was reading this poem by Gwyneth Lewis. Gwyneth Lewis is a wonderful poet. She was the first poet laureate for Wales. She's a Welsh poet. She writes in English and Welsh, and I don't read the Welsh. That is an incredibly difficult language. So those of you who do speak Welsh, I tip my cap to you. But this poem she has here in English, and I think it speaks to this title very well. Something shifted and the landscape breathed, killing 2,000. The angel of the Lord was with us. Bless this deadly Lord. And his fatal angel who has left freeze-framed these lives an emblem, father holding son, a mother running, angel of the Lord, who stopped the messenger on the dusty road, spread out his body, a forgotten word in a dying language. Angel of the Lord, who undressed the elders as they tried to flee, then took them from their histories. Angel who teaches that we do not see, but are seen by greatness. Held, then killed by the swiftest glance, and those who win are those who lose the fight with him. The wrestling angel who takes everything, as is his right. The angel of the Lord, wielding the evening breeze as his sword. I think it's a wonderful depiction of the action of the justice of God, and how sometimes it's not palatable. Father holding a son, a mother running. There were children in Sodom and Gomorrah. After Ai, the entire family was killed. There are things in Scripture that sometimes we have to wrestle with, and they're not easy because we don't have God's perspective. We don't understand God's justice, as she says here in the poem. Spread out his body, a forgotten word in a dying language. Angel of the Lord, a forgotten word in a dying, not a dead language, still exists, but forgotten. People forget about the justice of God as well as the mercy and love of God. It's all there. And it can be challenging for us to deal with sometimes, but hiding from it doesn't help. You need to look at it, read it, and then pray for God's revelation. You're not going to fully understand everything. You're not. The revelation of God is for us to come to know God, to come to be in relationship with God, not to figure God out and know everything about God. Trust me, I've studied theology at the highest levels of the best school with the smartest people far smarter than I am, and they will tell you they don't know either. They study, they know the basics, they know the guardrails of good theology that keeps you from going off track and starting a cult. But you just can't know everything about God. And there are some things that we're going to have to wrestle with and just take on faith. And one of them sometimes is the justice of God and what that means. So rather poignant, I guess, since I'm getting ready to go out in the desert for a month. So hopefully I'll be able to share that message in love as well. So in the meantime, for those of you who just joined the channel, by all means, you can go back and look at the old videos. I've got a plethora. And then I will be back in just a few weeks. Hopefully you'll be able to share some good news. So I hope you have a lovely week. I hope you have a lovely month. And as always, happy reading.